the a barrage of not just you're a transphobic hater. Isn't that amazing? You're a transphobic hater. It shows you the power of the brainwash. A biological male competes against women in women's sports, and you're a hater if you're angry that you were cheated out of your win. I'm angry on her behalf, and I didn't compete. And she's not my daughter. If you have to be the person who's angry, then the moral character of this nation is shot. Everybody should be angry about it. The other aspect, though, and I want to get into that, is the amount of anti-Semitic male. She wears a Star of David and is known as a Jew. And what was the nature of the anti-Semitic attacks? That
Well,
you're a Jew and you shouldn't be speaking out. I'm curious, what is the correlation, but forgive me for adding on to my question, what is the correlation between your protesting the unfairness of this competition and your being a Jew?
I think that one of the reasons there was so much anti-Semitism immediately is because when I made the post, I happened to be in Israel. And there's a lot of people who hate Israel and believe a lot of misinformation. And what I found was when people ignore facts about one issue so they can promote a harmful agenda, they'll do it about other issues too. And I think that's what we saw here. But a lot of the comments were like the from the river to the sea stuff, and you're a colonizer and a white supremacist and stuff like that. And it really just showed that there's a lot of ignorance present, and people don't really know what they're talking about. They just want to come after you for the worst thing they can think of. But it's a very strange position to be in when people are calling you a bigot while attacking you for being Jewish.
Well, I don't think it's knowable, although one could have assumptions. Would you say that the majority of the anti-Semitic attacks came from people on the left or the right?
Oh, definitely the left. But I think that anti-Semitism can manifest anywhere on the political spectrum. But on the left, they try to disguise it as social justice, which is especially dangerous when there's propaganda spreading on the internet and people are buying into that and then claiming that, you know, Jews are at fault for everything, or switching out to use Zionist because that seems like a more palatable term to them. But yeah, definitely the left. And it was really disappointing to see that. And it happened coming from people who I didn't know, but also people I did know. And people who literally just months prior were wishing me to have a great time in Israel. And I had been friends with and spent time with and skated with and had never had an issue with. They never said anything about me being Jewish, and only positive things about me wanting to travel there. So that was kind of shocking. The second I said something they didn't agree with, that's what they went after. Rather than trying to defend their position, they just attacked me for being a Jew.
Have you drawn any conclusions from this?
Well, all the comments and messages that I received are not new. It's just more. I would get comments and messages like this before. So I was aware that anti-Semitism is a big problem in the world still. And I knew that this could happen, which is one of the reasons I didn't speak up sooner, because I thought about how to address it after Red Bull ignored me. I thought maybe I could make a video, maybe I could make a post. And I thought, well, they'll come after me because I'm in Israel. They'll come after me because I'm a Jew. And I've seen people get those anti-Semitic attacks online where their posts just get flooded with comments, which is what happened to me. And it still happens every day. But I guess that what I've taken from it is all I can do is ignore it. Or if I have the opportunity to educate somebody who wants to have that conversation, I think that is a good thing to do. But I can't let it impact me. And luckily, I have a lot of really supportive people in my life. I have an awesome family and friends, and my boyfriend's amazing. And I'm more focused on that community than people on the internet. Because in real life, people don't say that stuff to me very often. Every once in a while, somebody will say something anti-Semitic or do something, but it's far more common on the internet.
I have concluded something about courage. Taylor might find this of interest. I'm sure she would. But it's for everybody. I've asked many people who have courage why they do. And I have concluded that most people who have courage, it's built into their nature. It's their DNA. They sort of can't be another sheep. It's not in their constitution. Some people actually will themselves to be courageous, which is very impressive. What do you think of my first thesis? Would you say, looking at yourself, you just can't be another sheep?
Well, looking at myself, I don't think I'm an incredibly courageous person. I think that all I did was speak up for myself and say something that was true. And it was scary to say it because I knew there'd be backlash, but I didn't think it was like this incredibly brave act. The reason I did it was because I couldn't continue to sit with myself knowing that I hadn't
So
done
exactly,
anything.
you're describing what I described.
Yeah.
In a sense, I know you in that regard a little better than you know you.
Yeah, no, but as you were saying that, I was like, that actually does make sense the way you worded it. But I started to feel really guilty. I felt like I'm not one of these, teenage girls or really young girls who are getting into contests and are at this incredibly high level where this is going to be my full-blown career forever. I'm 27 years old. I compete at an amateur level. I love it. It's been incredibly positive for me. I've been very blessed to be able to make money doing the thing I love. But I started to think about, what if I have kids in America and I have to explain this to my own kids one day? I'd heard stories of athletes who had this happen to them, and then it happened to their daughter.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't imagine explaining that to my own daughter one day if I'm lucky enough to have a family.